are live from the Sean Diddy trial. As you can see, everybody is lined up. There is so much going on, but it seems like we are going to have a continuation from the testimony yesterday. Now, if you guys don't know, Diddy's chief financial officer testified. He said a lot of good things about Diddy. He was a great person. He motivated him. He learned how to be the best he could at work. But you know the one thing that really shook everybody, I think including the defense, is Mark Agnefilia was testifying, and he decided to go in for the kill. And he said, so, given everything you know about Diddy in his 19 years, would you say he was a good person? This man that just was singing Diddy's praises when it came to everything about testimony, when it came to everything about his business, stood there and said, I don't know how to answer that. Mark Agnefilia rephrased, let me rephrase, do you think he is a good person? He literally was mute for what felt like eternity and said, I can't answer that. And with that, the defense panicked and sat down and said no further questions, okay? Again, it seemed like it was actually a microcosm for what's actually going on in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Yes, he was a good businessman. Yes, he inspired people to greatness. Yes, he built a legacy. That is undeniable. He built a billion-dollar industry based off of him and his media strategy. But at its core, was he a good person? And did that even rise to the level of being criminal? And you guys know I've been out here all week, and I truly honestly feel like the answer is hell yeah, Rose, to being criminal. If you guys don't remember, there's been a lot of people saying, where's the RICO, where's the RICO, where's the RICO? Yesterday, the CFO, even though he's saying Diddy's praises, gave the prosecution the groundwork they needed to show the RICO, that Diddy used company funds, laundered them into his private accounts, and used that in cash that was not declared to the IRS, and that who Diddy, if you believe Eddie Garcia, encouraged not to report the money. And Eddie Garcia said he took Diddy's advice and he did not report the money. That rises into RICO, using an organization with a common goal, which is to protect Diddy's image. His image wasn't just vanity. His image is how he built his billion-dollar empire. Perfect dad, mogul, playboy, but he has a part of gold. His image was his money. If you think about this, this is the first social media influencer trial, because that's what Diddy was. We even found out with Diageo and the Ciroc. He was never an owner in Ciroc. He was sweat equity, a partner, but his job was to promote, to place, to do that. He actually was not even a money equity holder in Ciroc. In any case, you guys, let's move on from that, because the CFO has literally, the CEO has literally laid the groundwork for Sean Diddy Combs, to actually be indicted for RICO, okay? There's a lot of other things coming on. Today's testimony is going to be very exciting, because Jane, who the prosecution seems to feel is the strongest witness, because that is the witness that's going last, Jane will be testifying. And unlike Cassie, who I think Cassie did an amazing job, Jane is not famous. She didn't seek to be famous. She never sued Diddy. She wasn't looking for money. She's not looking for a payout. She has zero motivation to actually tell her story, aside from wanting to get the truth of the matter out. And they are saying that this is going to be devastating for Diddy's team. So who is Jane? Jane is anonymous. Now, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of keeping all witnesses anonymous. If they don't want their name used, they don't need to be. To me, because there is nothing in their past that they can actually use to actually shame them, it really doesn't matter who they are. And you guys know I'm a tireless advocate for SA. I am the one that broke the Sean Diddy Combs, the fact that he was under investigation, the fact that there was a grand jury being convened, the fact that there was going indictment handing out, the fact that he would be arrested. I mean, who could have predicted the jury tampering, right? But also with the Jane, who is Jane? I have my suspicions, but they genuinely are 100% guesses. Jane's identity has been locked down. Now, if you guys don't know, Mama Three Boys, thank you so much for the super chat. There is that whole scuffle about what happened with Mia. The government is literally sanctioning news organizations and outlets for posting her image, her full name, because doxing is giving somebody's full name, her image and her likeness, with the intent to harass, bully, and shame. They are literally strengthening right now with Jane. They're saying that that cannot happen again. They will be behind the screen, meaning people in the overflow room will not see who she is, meaning people in the public and media, if you are not in the main courtroom, will not be able to see who she actually is. The government is not playing. If you guys don't know, yesterday, I don't know what's going on. If you guys don't know, the government also yesterday had an issue in the courtroom. And this is where there are mistrial accusations going about. If you guys don't know, there was a woman in the courtroom that was escorted by force out of it. There were shouts of, pull your out. There were 4 people on her, guards that were trying to move her, and they could not move. And Venus Green said, good morning, Tisa from Florida, still Oklahoma. You look gorgeous this morning. Thank you so much. There was so much going on. A lot of people said that it seems odd that this happened because it might help Diddy's team get a mistrial. Unfortunately, we don't know how that holds up, because if there is a mistrial, it would have to be the prosecution. If Diddy's team was found to have planted that person to make that kerfuffle, or if it could be traced down to it, you can't start a mistrial for things that you started. Now, there's no proof that Diddy was actually encouraging that woman to do that. She was a Diddy supporter. She said she was mad that people were laughing at Diddy's legacy. It incited her to rage. I said, I didn't know the Harlem Shake was that serious, but you know what? I guess so, and incited her to do all the stuff. I didn't know it was that serious. However, when it comes to the mistrial accusations, you need to actually look at this. Diddy's team has been asking for a mistrial over and over and over. Now, how would there being a circus in the courtroom possibly help them? Well, think about it. If they get a mistrial, it most likely will be on the fact that the jury can't decide, maybe juror nullification, maybe a mistrial because there's some type of error. But where does it come? Diddy has already realized the way the city of New York feels about him and the way the jury pool feels about him. It was very, very hard in their jury pool selection to find people that didn't see the video, and also in New York, didn't have an opinion on Diddy, good or bad. Don't forget what Diddy always said. I run this city, send the cops to the EA, the feds to come get me. Don't forget that everybody always knew, good or bad, the way they felt about Diddy in New York. You were either the king of New York, he's the king of New York, or he's nobody, okay? So just hear me out. You find on different grounds a way to get a mistrial, maybe jury impropriety. And again, the jury has not been bought, the judge has not been bought. This trial has been on the up and up. However, you think about a desperate man that might be willing to do anything. If there's anything they can do to actually get some type of mistrial or jury nullification, I believe the social media spectacle is going to play into the way he can get this trial moved. If I was Diddy and I was saying, because he cannot, people feel the way they feel about him in New York, and getting that last jury that might have had neutral feelings against him, with him, to actually come together. What would you want to do in a mistrial? You would then want to move and say, the press is too much of a circus. There's too much going on. I don't feel I can get a fair trial in New York, and we must move this trial. Now, if he moves the trial to Kansas, right? Will that help him? I don't know, but you already know what your cards are in the Southern District of New York. Okay, Savage Rose said, good morning, Tisa. Sending lots of loves and hugs. Thank you, guys. B Dizzle said, Tisa, keep shining. People got your back. Thank you. Keep smiling, laughing, and being you. Hail Mary for real. Thank you. Come with me. Sonia J said, keep up the great reporting, Tisa. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate all you guys. And I do want to give a special shout out to everybody that is helping me. The super chats, the fan funding, everybody has been helping me stay out here, stay safe, and also get the transcripts and do. This is a team effort, and I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I can truly say that I couldn't do it without you, so I hope that I'm doing you guys proud, being your eyes and ears. Grown Women Don't Try, thank you so much for joining the Tattle Tall family. So think about it. Diddy already knows that he is pretty much cooked in New York City, meaning to find a new jury that doesn't feel some type of way, it's going to be hard. Now, does that mean that he's going to get a better trial if it's moved to Kansas? I don't know. But at this point, you're better off just flipping the Monopoly board and starting over than literally going and trying to see if you can get anything. There's a lot going on. Again, I have heard the rumors that these people, that Diddy, I have heard these rumors that these people that are causing a ruckus. And again, let's also talk about what's going on with the influencers, right? Oddly enough, the biggest people, and again, the media has security. As influencers, we have no one. You guys know that like Rotten Mango's covering us. Of course, Ron Wiggins covering us. We've heard from so many people that there's been so many weird things happening to influencers. People looking at the feeds, people trying to set up, people carrying malicious rumors, right? Again, where's it coming from? It could just be evil clout chasing people, or it could be something more. Once I saw that people were wearing free Diddy shirts, it made me take a step back and be like, hold on, what really is going on? And how is it that all of the people covering this that are on independent media, why is it that we are all having oddly specific, but also the same things? You think about it. Diddy, Sad Ames 03 said, love you, Tease. Enjoy some lunch with me. Oh, thank you. Please let me know if you need a place to stay for free during the trial. I have got a spare room. Thank you so much. Thanks to you guys, I have a place to stay. I'm not sleeping on the streets, and if I was, I would live stream that, right? But you got to think about this, right? And I've been thinking about this a lot last night. You think about, listen, Stephanie, you said my name is Stephanie, by the way. Thank you for your coverage during this trial. I live in the Bronx. What's up, Boogie Down Bronx? But you have to think about it, and this is just me putting on my thinking hat, right? Trump says that he's looking into a pardon for Diddy. He said if he was treated unfairly, okay? What does that let me know? That if Trump isn't just BSing Diddy, right? But if he is serious and he's looking into it, Diddy's going to need social media on his side. He's going to need the general public at large on his side. He's going to need people to believe this was just TV that went too far. He's going to need people to believe it was just a lover's quarrel. He's going to need people to believe those women wanted it. He's going to make it to believe that, yes, was I a perfect person? No. Am I rising to the level of criminal? No. So what's the way you do that? You need to get social media on your side. Diddy is from those old archives where if you controlled the talent agencies, you could control what was written in the media. You could control what, and when I say media, I mean even Instagram. You paid posts, you did this, and you could create narratives. Now with the new media, there are people that are not beholden to those titans. Diddy cannot gain control over them. He can't gain control over us. So if you can't, and what has Diddy showed, and again, this is just my speculation, what has Diddy showed in the trial, if you cannot gain control over someone by either buying them out, paying them off, or even intimidating them, I find it odd that all the bloggers are being inundated with the same type of harassment, almost to make you feel like you don't want to be in court, like you don't want to be in line, like your safety's not there, right? Then what's the next thing that you do? You then try to see if you can intimidate people to get out so that we feel ashamed, afraid to come to court. We feel some type of way. We don't want to report that. Again, is it just a theory I have? Maybe, but seeing all these people come together, it makes me think this is I don't know. It seems like it's no coincidence. And maybe though it might not be happening, it's odd to me. Good morning. It's odd to me that Diddy is, I'm sorry. Do you need to get over here? No. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to be in your way. It's, okay. B Dizzle said Diddy trying to win the court of public opinion. Exactly. That was my long way of saying Diddy is trying to win the court of public opinion. And I actually do, is this light better over here? There we go. I actually do think that Diddy is trying to win the court of public opinion, and I actually do believe that the less bloggers he has giving their opinion from and letting you know what happened, the better for him. I've said it before and I'll say it again, right? Here's an ambulance for Diddy's career. Diddy, your career's here anyway, right? I've said it before and I will say it again. I do not think that Diddy can win with the facts. I think he can win with a trial by ambush. I think he can win by silencing people. And I think he can win by controlling the narrative. But the thing is, again, If you can't control the narrative, then maybe intimidation of pushing everyone out. Again, it's just me thinking in the last 3 days, the hoopla that started, not just toward me, toward all bloggers that have a big voice. Random people showing up, threatening to fight people, random people doing this, random people doing that. Maybe it is just all one big coincidence, but it's happened to everybody all the time, all at once. Who is behind it? And my mind keeps going back to the people that were paid $20 to wear free Diddy t-shirts. If you were paid $20 to wear free Diddy t-shirts, how much would somebody have to pay you to do a little bit something else, to spread a lie, to talk shit, to make up rumors that can't be substantiated, or to meet people outside a courthouse and literally argue with people and make people feel so intimidated and so unsafe that next time they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna back off of this. It's not worth it. I mean, I'm gonna tell you that's not working with me, baby, because we are here. To quote Tisha Campbell, I'm still here. Listen, we are staying safe, but you guys have to wonder, why is everything happening all at once? Just something to think about. I'm going to put my ear to the street and actually see what's going on. I might even send people to literally interview the crazies to actually see what's going on and what is behind this, you know? You know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you. Thanks for the blazer. Anyway, you guys, listen. I have to get in court. Let me get out of here. Stay tuned for today. This is going to be a very important day. I do believe that another CFO or a COO is going to testify. Bana might actually testify, right? Okay, I know I said I was going, but just two more things, right? Bana might actually testify. There's another guy that made the security footage that might testify. And then Jane is expected to take the stand either today, most likely tomorrow. Today's Wednesday, right? Most likely tomorrow. Why is this important, brown sugar? Because I saw another thing in court, and this is why it's so important to have eyes and ears in the court. Again, this is my opinion, but I'm trying to make it make sense for y'all, right? Autistic Black Woman Chronicles said, Tisa, last night Uncle Gene said he had your back. Yo, shout out to Uncle Gene. DJ Big Doobie said the sunlight is hitting you perfect, beautiful. I know, that's why I moved the camera. I was like, oh, good light. Should have started the live off. Instead, the live, I look like Count Dracula. But you know what? Take a screenshot of this live. Let me just say this, right? Diddy's team, I think, has been trying to run out the clock. Now, they could just be taking their time, questioning people, do whatever. But I truly do feel like Diddy's team is literally running out the clock. Every time they have to cross-examine a witness, they will waste an hour or two talking about what they had for breakfast. Again, is it in Diddy's team's favor to run the clock out, to make everything stretch longer? Of course it is. But the fact that they seem to be doing it a lot, again, they actually thought that the prosecution in the morning confidently said that they could get these people on the trial yesterday. And what happened? The defense ran out the clock asking, do you remember when Diddy sponsored the neighborhood Little League team? And then the clock got ran out. Why would they be doing it? I do feel it's some type of strategy. And I have a thing, but today, if they run the clock out, we will 100% know. What is it? Jane has a drop-dead date for testimony. The prosecution are so secure about her, they believe Jane will be testifying for 3 days, just on the direct. And then the defense will probably take 2 or 3 days for the cross-examination. Jane has a drop-dead date to leave on Thursday because she has an overseas vacation to do. You guys, this is the same drop-dead date as Cassie. I do believe that if they think that they can push her testimony more and more out, give less time, and then she leaves, they might be able to get some of her testimony thrown out to say, Your Honor, we don't have time. We don't have this. They tried the same thing with Cassie. It didn't work. That doesn't mean they're not going to try the same thing with Jane. So that's why I think they are running the clock out, because Jane only has till next Thursday to testify. And then she was done. And the less time they have for testimony for Jane, the better it works out with them. Okay? I'll explain all that later. I got to get into the court. But Venus Linus said Melania's first step back as first lady was on Revenge Pawn Act. So she won't be wearing free P. Diddy. Love you, TT. 2020, Nancy Drew. Thank you so much. Listen, you guys, listen. Thank y'all so much for the love and having the back. And I will always love your back. And just know, through the lies and through the intimidation, I will be here every single day giving you guys the truth as I see it. All right? Don't forget, I'm going to be running down to court. Make sure you turn on your notifications. As soon as the first witness is done, I will run and give you guys the tea. Second witness, run and give you guys the tea. This is going to be a huge day. And also don't forget the sidebars where the defense and prosecution are arguing. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.